Welcome back to the Coco Swatches YouTube channel, y'all. It's been a minute. I have no excuses. I feel like I've been caught up with the Instagram and the clock app, and I have left my YouTube family behind. I've been posting shorts, but I have not been able to post a longer form piece of content in a while. So I thought, why not start out with like my go-to everyday glam, the products I use, the techniques I like, just to, dip the feet back in and get reacquainted with everyone. So if you're interested in seeing that type of video, want to hear more, stay tuned, keep watching. We're getting right into it. The first step in my routine is definitely going to be prep. This Danessa Myricks powder serum, water powder serum, I'm obsessed with it. If you have an oily combination skin type, this is going to be a game changer for you. I just apply a few drops to my hands and then press it into my T-zone. This is going to seriously keep you matte all day. You might even be able to tell on camera how much a difference that made. Next, I go in with really any grippy primer. Anyone will do. I have the Milk one, I have the e.l.f. ones. Today, I'm gonna use this e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. Just something for your base to stick to and last longer throughout the day. Next is going to be color corrector. I love this NARS light reflecting eye brightener. I feel like this really helps to cancel out any of the dark spots, any like darkness under my eyes or around my mouth area. So I always apply this before I apply any foundation. Like, look at the difference. That literally just brightened my under eye right up. Now let's get into foundation. Lately, I've been mixing two foundations. You absolutely do not have to do this. I feel like we've gotten to a point where there are so many foundation formulas out there. You should be able to find one that works for you. But as someone who has oily combo skin, it's less about finding the right shade for me and more about finding the right formula. These are the two foundations that I mix. NARS Soft Matte with Light Reflecting. I feel like it just gives the perfect combination of glowy, but also like matte and long lasting. I don't know. It just works for me. And I'm actually mixing shades because I want this to be slightly darker. So I have here New Caledonia, which is basically like my skin in a bottle. But if you know me, you know for full glam looks, I always suggest going at least one shade darker, half a shade to a shade darker. It just makes everything come together better in the end. So I'm using the shade, how do you pronounce this? Iguazu in the light reflecting foundation. I just love how this foundation blends into the skin and it just leaves the perfect like your skin but better for oily skin types finish. So this is how my base is looking. Technically, I could go a little bit darker if I wanted to do even more of like a fuller glam with like a brighter under eye. But this mix has been working for me lately. I've been using it pretty much every day that I film. So for concealers, again, we have a mix of matte and kind of more natural, dewy kind of products. I feel like this is just a theme for me as someone, like I said, I think I've said this a million times at this point, I have oily combination skin and I just feel like you kind of have to mix and match some of these product finishes to find like the right kind of formula that's going to work for you, your complexion, your skin tone, your undertone, etc. So I'm using the Pat McGrath concealer and the Makeup Forever matte velvet concealer. I feel like these pair really well together. Sometimes I just go in straight with just Pat McGrath, but I usually will pair the Makeup Forever matte velvet with something a little bit more kind of dewier. It's a very thick formula, so I don't tend to use it alone. I usually pair it with something else, either something like this, or sometimes I use the Makeup Forever HD concealer. It just kind of depends on how I feel, but today this is the mix we're doing. So we're gonna go in with the darker concealer first. This is the shade MD25. So first we're gonna place the concealer where we want it and let it sit for a little bit, give it some time to dry. So I've gone in with this first shade of concealer. I want to let it set for a little bit. I really am concentrating on placement. I've kind of placed it in the areas that I wanted to have the most impact. If you're on the Clock app, you probably know that Uche's complexion routine has been going viral. So I also took some tips and tricks from her routine. I used to kind of concentrate my concealer just up here, but lately I've been bringing it a little bit farther down the face. I feel like adding the concealer in this area also kind of just helps things just come together magically. I don't know how it works, but I did her routine and it was fire. So it's really about what works best for you. I mean, you're watching me wherever you are. I watch a lot of creators, and it's not really about copying their routine entirely. This is for you all to gain inspiration and hopefully find some things that might work for you that you can add to whatever routine you might already got going on. While that says, I'm going to go in with 2 sculpting products. This one is from NYX. I love these NYX Pro Fix sticks. I feel like they blend so easily. They apply easily. They're the perfect size to kind of make intricate details on your face. So I really don't like to contour my nose, but I like to now contour just the beginning of it with this. Like it's just been making everything come together for me lately. And I use this to bronze. This is the Milk matte bronzer in Blitzed. So we're just gonna go in right here, and that's all I'm gonna do. Right here, and that's it. I don't want to bring it all the way down the nose. I don't feel like that suits my face. I think just having the start of the nose somehow works for me. This bronzer stick is really soft, so just be careful. Yeah, I probably definitely applied a little bit too much of this product, so definitely don't do that. Use your brush. Ideally, I should have just done like this, taken the brush and dabbed it into the product and then dabbed it onto the skin so that I wouldn't apply too much product. So it's fine, I'll fix it, but you know, it is what it is, just how the game goes sometimes. Gotta roll with it. All right, so before we get back into this under eye concealer, we're gonna spray with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray just to make sure the product can move around. It's been sitting for a while. We got it to the kind of tackiness, the coverage that we want. We want it to be able to still move. So just gonna give myself a healthy dose. I always do like a mid routine spray of my Charlotte Tilbury spray and then do a final spray after I'm done with everything. You can use a brush or a sponge for this step. It's completely up to you and what you prefer. I usually use a combination of both. You can also use what's left over on your concealer brush to kind of make sure that your cheeks look extra sculpted and just clean up any bronzer that went too far down. Now we're going to go in with just a touch of this matte concealer from Makeup Forever. We're not going to apply it all over the face like we did with the Pat McGrath concealer. Just right here to give that extra, just that extra little brightness. And this one I don't let set as long either because this one is, like I said, really full coverage, really matte. I don't want it to get stuck on my face whatsoever. So we're going to start blending pretty soon after I apply it to the face. Okay, so I'm really happy with the way the base is looking right now. Now it's time to set everything with powder. So we're gonna be using 2 shades of Huda Beauty's Easy Bake Powder. I'm using Kunafa and Blondie. I'm gonna go in with Kunafa first under the eyes, just to make sure everything is set in place. Next, I'm going in with the shade Blondie. This is a little bit of a lighter kind of yellow powder. This is just gonna keep the under eye bright. And then I use whatever's left and just kind of drag it down the face. While that bakes for a little bit, we're going to get into the eyes. My eye routine these days is super simple. I have been gravitating towards this Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3 palette. Any kind of neutral palette that has a warm brown and like neutral kind of tonal shades will do. But this one has both kind of cool and warm tone shades. So I find it the most versatile. It has a black shadow. I've just been reaching for it a lot lately. It's easy, it works. So that's what we're going to use today. I'm going to do one eye so you can see what it's giving compared to the other eye. So we're going to go in with this warm brown shade right here. And we're just going to apply some of that into the crease. I feel like this warm brown shade just like brings life back into the look after like all that bright under eye concealer and powder. Like these warm brown tones they just give me life. Okay, so that's really all I do there. Then I like to go in with something that is a little bit closer to my skin tone, but still a little brightening. So lately I've been liking more like taupey. I want to say they are, I don't know if I would call this a cool tone shade. It's more neutral. Sometimes I use this shade, but today we're going to go in with this shade. You'll see what I mean in a second. It is like a kind of neutral taupey brown beige. I don't know how to describe it, but I just really like the effect, the subtle effect it brings to the eyes. Like, I don't know, it just works. So I just apply that right here. I don't bring it all the way to like the other side of my lid. I kind of just blend it, but I just feel like it just makes, like it just opens up the eyes. It's just giving something. I just know that it works and that it's giving a little something, and it's just something that I need. So yeah, that's really all I do with eyeshadow these days on like a normal everyday glam. If I'm going to an event and I just don't know what I'm gonna wear, I need something that works with everything. Like this is basically all that I do. So now I'm just gonna take my black eyeliner. This is Perversion from Urban Decay. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Not all black eyeliners are created equally. If you are dark skinned and you're wondering why your eyeliner is not eyelinering, it might not be black enough. You need like a real true black liner. So this is one of the like blackest ones that I own. And I'm just gonna do like a little baby, I wouldn't even call it a wing. I just kind of line, this needs to be sharpened, hold please. So I just kind of line my eyes as if I were going to wing it out. And then I just use my finger to kind of smudge at the edge here. Just make sure you don't smudge too much. So this is what we're working with. Now I just add some mascara. This Fenty Beauty mascara is my go-to mascara. I feel like it just gives everything I need. It gives length, it gives like thickness. I have pretty curly lashes already, so I'm not really looking for a mascara to add like curl. I just want my lashes to look thicker and so that you can actually see them. Like, look at that. Now, before we go in with our bottom mascara, we're gonna do a little hack that I like to do. It's very subtle, but I feel like it gives the look a little bit extra something. You might have heard of the hack of adding or tight lining with like a beige or like a white even eyeliner to kind of help open up the eyes. I feel like white and beige are a little bit light if you have a darker skin tone. So this is the only liner that I feel like gives me what the effect that I'm looking for, which is to make the eyes appear a little bit larger, but doesn't make me look like too wild or make me look like a clown. Like, I feel like this is just the perfect shade for deeper skin tones. This is the shade Nude Haze from NYX. It's their Epic Smoke Liner. And I'm going to do it on one eye so you can see the difference. It's just going to go right in here. And hopefully you can see like the subtle difference between this eye and this eye. It kind of just gives just that little extra little something. Like they're gonna be looking at you and they can't exactly tell what you did differently, but they know there's something, and it's this. So yeah, I like to do that before I apply my bottom mascara. Let's bring some color back into the face. So I'm going in with these two bronzers. This one is from MAC. It's in the shade Radiant Richer Rosy, and this one is new. It's from NYX. It's in the shade Better Than You. So when I did a review of this on TikTok, I actually called it a blonzer because it reminds me of like mixing your blush and bronzer shades together. It doesn't have quite enough depth for me to consider it to be a bronzer, but I actually really do like the shade. I wish they came out with some deeper shades because this is the darkest shade, but I like the way it looks. So we're going to pair the two of these together. This is for depth. This is kind of going to bring some warmth and a little bit of that blush, brown blush color to the face. So I'm going in with the MAC bronzer first, just like I said, to get some of that depth. Then I'm going to take some of that NYX bronzer and just kind of apply it almost where I would apply my blush. These also have a slight shimmer to it, so it makes for like a really nice kind of brown blush shade. I feel like that just added such nice warmth to the face, like those two shades together. Chef's kiss. I've gone ahead and applied falsies off camera, so now let's get into the lip combo. Now, my lip combos are known for being very intricate. I have 4 products here. You obviously don't need all 4, but I just like dimension. I like using different products to get the desired effect. So first I'm going to use this liquid lipstick. Liquid lipsticks are great to line the lips with. This one's pretty affordable. It's from the Sephora collection, and yeah, I just use it to line the lips. It's a nice shade of warm brown. After that's dried down a little bit, I'm going to go in with another liquid lipstick. This one is from Fenty in the shade Fashion Fiend, and I'm going to put that in the center of the lips just to get a nice gradient going here. Now I'm going to line the lips again because I like to use two liners, and I like something that has a lot of depth to really like bring out the shape of my lips. I've been loving this lip liner from Citizen Cosmetics. Is in the shade Couture, and these liners are actually very long lasting as well. They have a gel, it's a gel formula similar to kind of Molasses from the Sephora collection, but darker. Like, do you see how dark that is compared to the liquid lipstick? Like, it's just a very kind of dark shade of brown, and I feel like it works really well for my complexion. Overline just a little bit on the Cupid's bow. Now you can stop here, but I'm a gloss gal. Your girl loves a gloss. If you didn't know, I have my own line of nude glosses. My makeup brand Bare Period has 4 shades of nude glosses for all skin tones. I like to use number 1 Ofu. They're numbered darkest to lightest in English and my Nigerian language, my native Nigerian language, Igbo. So this is number 1 Ofu, and I'm going to use this to basically line the lips as well. So just placing it like this. Just concentrating that color on the outline of the lips. So to finish everything off, we're going to go back in with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray and then set everything with the MAC Studio Fix powder. This is their Studio Fix Set and Blur powder in the shade Deep Dark. These two work so well together. I feel like they just give my skin just a beautiful airbrush finish. This helps all the powders we applied earlier really settle into the skin, and so makes it look like less like powdery and cakey. And this just gives the most beautiful airbrushed finish. This is how it looks. Here we go. I really like to apply a healthy amount of setting spray. I want really everything to settle into the base. While it's still semi-wet, we're just going to take some of the powder on my brush here and just I don't like to bring this powder too far up because it does have some pigment in it, and I don't want to take away the brightness, all that work we did earlier. So I kind of concentrate it like down here just to make sure, you know, like my face is matching my body and everything looks blended. So this is my finished look. This is my go-to, I call it everyday glam because I film almost every day, but obviously most people aren't getting this glam every day. But if I have somewhere to go, if I don't know what I'm about to wear and I need to do my makeup, this is just my go-to glam. These are my go-to products that I know are gonna work, and I don't have to even think about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my return back to YouTube. I always come back and say I hope I'm here to stay. I'm saying that again because I really feel like YouTube is low-key underrated. I want to be able to give more long-form content and talk to y'all. I miss connecting with y'all, talking to y'all. So I really hope I can keep up this YouTube, you know, habit. And I have a lot of new things happening in my life that, you know, I kind of want to share. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed today's video. If y'all have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you're a long time, you know, supporter of Coco Swatches, also want to give y'all a shout out and thank you for sticking with me for so long. It's This channel's been up for years, so if you're still here, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I appreciate you. I can't thank you enough. Again, comment below with any questions, and I'm manifesting it. I'm putting it into the air. I will see you in the next one very soon.